Hello and welcome to another episode of Double Barrel Gaming. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and in the next few videos, I'm going to be giving you each of the big three, their grade for 2017. Who had the best year? Who led the charge in originality? Who stepped up to the plate? And who let their fans down? I hope you'll tune in to all three videos to find out. This is the first for me doing a multi-part video segment, but felt it completely necessary to give Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo the proper coverage they deserve. I will also be doing a Game of the Year video highlighting the best of the best in 2017. I'm sure it comes off as no surprise that I will start out with the Xbox brand for this three-part video series. I make no excuses that I am an Xbox gamer first and foremost. With that said, I'm fair and have on numerous occasions spoken about my distaste for some of the moves Microsoft has made in the past and how there were many shortcomings that needed to be addressed by Microsoft brass moving forward. It has been a year filled with many ups and downs for the Xbox and its fans. The first 9 months were sparse to say the least when it came to exclusive content. Sales of the Xbox One S were at an all-time low, and in some months, Microsoft barely broke 100,000 units sold in North America. They fell into third place, and considering there are only 3 companies competing, that's terrible. The delay of Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves, and State of Decay 2 hurt the Xbox brand. Some could argue it cost them sales of the hardware. Could a few delays and exclusive games really hurt the Xbox brand? The short and easy answer is, of course it could. The first 4 years was plentiful for the platform. There have been many first and second party exclusives for the masses to play, though I will admit we are our worst enemies at times. Xbox players cry about wanting exclusives, but they don't support them when they come out, a trend that is very similar on the PlayStation side of things. From 2013 through 2016, the only negative the media could hang their hats on was the power factor. 900p versus 1080p was the running narrative. Side-by-side comparisons with every big AAA game was the norm. It seemed the Xbox was outclassed each and every time. Fast forward to 2017, and that narrative has shifted to the Xbox has no games mantra. The media was relentless and unforgiving. The rabid Sony fan base were out in force, banging the hate drum for everyone to hear. Had the Xbox brand fallen off a cliff? The obvious answer is, of course, no. Players from every camp, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo fans were waiting impatiently for the launch of the Xbox One X on November 7th. Microsoft made a huge promise of the X being the most powerful console ever made. Considering how the year started out for Team Xbox, no one was sure exactly how things were going to play out. They made promises in the past and came up short. Was the Xbox One X going to be another mistake for Microsoft? Phil Spencer and his team stepped up to the plate and knocked it out of the park. The X delivered on every promise and then some. The Xbox gamers were showered in free 4K updates that Microsoft made available to download prior to the X's release. At launch, the X had 70 plus Xbox One X enhanced titles. They sold 800,000 units of the Xbox One X here in the States. The low sales for the Xbox One S were people waiting for the launch of the X, and that isn't me trying to spin this into Microsoft's favor. As much as I complained about the extremely poor year for Xbox exclusives, you had to tip your hat to them for delivering the most powerful console ever released. Let's talk about the services that Microsoft provided to their fans in 2017. OG Xbox backwards compatibility, Xbox Game Pass, the new dashboard with the updated UI, and of course, the Xbox One X console. Let's move on to the exclusives, and obviously, in 2017, this was the poorest year to be an Xbox fan. Halo Wars 2, Forza Motorsport 7, Super Lucky's Tale, Cuphead, and the behemoth, Players Unknown Battleground. The star of the show for Microsoft and the Xbox family was PUBG. Yes, it does have a large amount of technical issues that are being addressed each and every week, but let's not forget this is a preview game. Currently, the latest rumor has PUBG selling over 4 million copies, which is insane considering it launched on December 12th. Regardless of its technical issues, loads of Xbox gamers are having fun with it, and it's currently not available on the PlayStation 4 or the Nintendo Switch, and that is a huge deal for Microsoft. Personally, I'm a big proponent of exclusive games, regardless of what the current NPDs tell you. Considering this was a very light year for exclusive content, the listed titles were from different genres and were all enjoyable. Microsoft and its fans had so many highs and lows in 2017. The last 4 months for the Xbox brand has made huge positive strides. I am very excited to see what they will do in 2018 and believe they are going to have their best year in the console's lifespan. What do they say about racing? It's not how you start, but how you finish. And with a very slow start and a blazing finish to 2017, I'm giving the Xbox brand a very respectable B. Please tune in for the next segment of this 3-part console report card series with my PlayStation 4 grade. For today's Community Spotlight, we're going to be talking about Freejack. He has been gaming since the days of the Atari 2600 and the TRS-80. One of his proudest moments was beating a black and white dungeon crawler called Dungeons of Daggeroth on the TRS-80. He actually got to the end of the game and was able to incant the final ring to win the game, unlike his 2 older fraud cousins that said they finished it, but they really didn't. He was the supreme player that day. If Dungeons of Daggeroth sounds like your thing, there's a port of it on the Windows Store for you to download. Next up for him was the original NES. His 2 favorite games were Excite Bike and Super Mario Bros. 2. He never understood why people disliked Luigi, but it was his favorite character to use, even though he had helicopter legs. From there, he moved on to PC gaming, where he owned a 286 PC. His favorite game there was the Origins Ultima series. His first forte into multiplayer gaming came when a friend dragged him with a bunch of buddies into a boardroom and they played a little game called Doom over LAN against each other, an experience he will treasure for the rest of his life. Fast forward to 2006, and he had a PC LAN setup in his basement where he played multiplayer versions of Halo 2 PC and Halo Championship Edition with friends. Talk about dedication. In 2006, he stood in line in negative 25 degrees weather in front of his Best Buy to purchase the new Nintendo Wii console. It was his first Nintendo console since the original NES. One of the major reasons why he had to have that console was because he had 2 small children and wanted something more accessible that was family friendly for his kids to play with him. Throughout his gaming career, he has always been a tech guy and recently purchased the Xbox One X, where he upgraded from the original Xbox One, and couldn't be happier. This is his favorite console hands down. It's the most technologically advanced system he's ever owned, which includes the 4K Blu-ray drive, as well as Dolby Atmos and HDR support. The games play absolutely amazing and look even better than he could have expected. What stands out for him and looks the best he's ever seen is The Witcher 3, which he considers the best game of this generation. Freejack enjoys listening to tech podcasts and recently discovered YouTube personalities like The Crap Gamer and Mel from Coffee Casuals and Consoles, which he really enjoys listening to while he's working. Freejack is an older gamer, much like myself, and I've had the pleasure of having numerous conversations with him regarding everything from tech to his favorite games. Please consider giving him a follow on Twitter @Freejack. I will provide the link in the show notes below. Thanks again for tuning in to the latest episode of Double Barrel Gaming. If you enjoyed today's content, please consider hitting that like button and also subscribing to the channel.